How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Forever Arsenal podcast. Apologies for the delay. I've got a couple messages this week asking when this pod is out. It's usually out earlier in the week, but listen, we've been enjoying the big result in the North London derby. I was away for the weekend as well, so excuse me for that. It's none of the lads' faults here. But big up lead judges, James and Jordan, as always. What are you saying, lads? All smiles all round?
All smart. I just want to say I've been sitting here since Sunday. I weren't missing this. I've just been sitting here since Sunday.
And just
out of order, keep me waiting till this time. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying anything. You're out of order, a lot of you. You know what I mean?
Why didn't you get it started?
I just want to say before we start, I think we're doing something good because the people around the Emirates coming up to me on Saturday and saying like bang out of order, like, you know what I mean, you being late or them like putting you on was fantastic. So we're doing something good, lads. We're doing something good.
Yeah, a lot of positive comments on the last video, all right, saying it's their favorite pod and it's the best pod on AFTV. Long may it continue, people. Show some love in the comment section. Hit the like button as well.
I still got some abuse though. I just want to say
can I just say the best comment was, and I turn around and say Lee's contribution in the first 3 minutes was better than Jordan's. come on, whoever that was, come on. Like, we love a bit of banter.
He said, "Come on, let's have it."
I love
to be fairly, they're right.
No, they're not. But it's just, I think that's good banter, like, you know what I mean. So that's the comment of the week. That one, like,
comment of the week. That's something we're going to bring into the show. Comment of the week, and maybe we can make the layout so that we can bring the comment of the week in as well. So people, continue your comments in good jest. Let me say,
it's got to be good banter. It's what got to make me and Jordan and James and Turkish laugh. And what was good about that one is that Jordan put it in the WhatsApp group. So that's why it's the one. Like,
that's when you know. That's when you know, and someone can laugh at himself. James, what are you saying, bro? You good?
I'm all good. This is one of those wins that you soak it in a little bit longer. You know, you enjoy it. You look back at all the, someone's clipping up what someone said before and what they're saying after. You enjoy every minute of that. You watch the highlights over again. Dare I say, you rewatch a bit of the match. It's a very good one. And I keep, I know it's early. This is how you know it's early in the season because you don't really think about it too much. But I just had a few moments over the last couple of days where I'm like, oh my God, we're top. I know it's only 8 games and I'm not suggesting, okay, great, we're going to win it or anything like that. But you just, it's nice. I was sort of remembering back to last season when you're like, we're 5th, only a couple points off 4th. This looks all right. Or we're in the top 4. Let's hold out. And, it's early on, but we're in a slightly different conversation for the time being. So I'm enjoying that as well.
Yeah, for the time being. And long, like I said before, I've used this phrase a lot so far this season. Long may it continue, because it's been a surprisingly great start for Arsenal. I think we've done very good in the transfer window. We was proactive. I think there was a couple pieces that we was all dwelling on at the end, and in terms of depth and injury records of some players and so on. But look at where we are now. I mean, off the back of that Man United loss, we turned it around, a big 3-0 away win against Brentford. Then the international break comes, and sometimes when you're in a good moment, that international break can kind of halt that good moment. And playing Tottenham on return from international break, it's a massive one. But we managed to not go there. We managed to just take the game to them, dominate. They got a red card, and it is what it is. But I don't think it was a contest before that. I know it was only 2-1, and I know they had a threat on the break. But in all honesty, Arsenal deserved the win, and they deserved the 3-1 win, if not more. Gordon, let's start with you, because I haven't really spoken to you yet about it. What do you make of it all?
Just what James says. I'm just enjoying watching Arsenal. I'm just enjoying supporting my team. I'm enjoying the football they're playing. It's almost too good at the moment. Everything seems to be going really well. No major injury concerns bar Middlesbrough Row. We smashed our North London rivals, top of the league. The football's delightful. We're scoring goals. The fans are buzzing.
You're going to name he who you won't name?
Well, okay, as you brought him up, but we're getting there. I'm not going to lie, Turkish. I'm getting close. I am getting close. It's certain players, if we start with him, they're making it hard for me.
If you say his name, he might come out with another interview and say, "Listen, I've come full circle now. That's it."
Jordan saying my name.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet, but these are the sorts of games that do make me think to myself, actually, lepers can change their spots, or people can at least learn. James again nailed it about 3 or 4 weeks ago when I flagged that the reason why I won't name him and I still won't trust him is because I'm not sure he's learned. Look at the Tottenham penalty. Who gave it away? I forgot who gave it away. Gabriel. Just before Gabriel fouls him, he who won't name goes to tackle him and then pulls out. If you look at it again, and he then pulls out. That for me, that 2 years ago, he gives that penalty away. 2 years ago, he fouls him. But as James, alluded to a couple of weeks ago, he's learning. He actually is learning. So these are the sorts of games where I'm looking for people like him to really lead. And I think in this game, once again, I just thought he was superb. I'm really impressed by how dominant he is in both boxes. He's blocking shots in our area, but then he's scoring like Lampard in their area, making late runs into the box. He just seems to be so dominant in both boxes.
How did you go from you won't name him to comparing him to Lampard?
Only in the sense that he seems to be that late arriving midfielder into the box. Do you know what I mean? I watched the game and there's so many times where he's the most advanced player in our team. He's ahead of Gabriel Jesus.
In the first 10 minutes, there was a ball over the top from Saka where he was the last man and it was a bit over him, but that kind of set the tone for what he was doing.
Man.
He tried to flick it in, didn't he?
He
did, and he's literally at the moment doing nothing wrong. And these are the games, and we'll get to the Liverpool game in a minute, whereby I look at him and think to myself, okay, you actually are changing. So I'm getting close to giving him his props. He was brilliant, I thought, on the weekend. I think he got man of the match, but for me, somebody else just shaded it. Somebody else for me just beat him to it, and it was Saliba.
Yeah, I
think Saliba is just turning into. I just love watching him. The word we use often as well, composure. He just doesn't get flustered. He's so flustered. And the thing is, the problem we've got, and it's a problem in inverted commas, he's making Gabriel look poor, and Gabriel's not poor. Gabriel is a good Premier League centre back, but he's making Gabriel look bang average because he does so little wrong. We've got to lock him down. We've really got to lock him down to a contract, because if we can do that on the trajectory again that he's on right now, we could have a guy in 2-3 years' time who could be one of the best defenders in the world. And we've been waiting for that for so long. We've been used to Mustafi and Koscielny and all these other clowns for so many years. We've finally got someone.
Don't put Koscielny in that list.
Maybe clown is strong for him.
Oh. When Barry Ferguson can rub your head like that after losing a cup final.
Come on, Turkish.
There are certain moments in players' careers. There are certain moments in players' careers that I've noticed Turkish won't forgive them from. There's no coming back from certain things.
Maybe clown's a little bit harsh with Koscielny. He served us well, to be fair to him.
I think you're pretty accurate, but
but the point being that he's been the best it's been for a decade. And if Koscielny's the best centre back you've had in a decade, something's gone wrong.
Standards need to improve.
Yeah, man. And in Saliba, we've got a guy that I think other fans. They kind of say, oh yeah, it's too early, but they're secretly jealous. They are jealous because they deep down in a dark corner know these guys have got a problem over there. These guys have got a really big a top defender over there. So Saliba for me, and also it was a test because you're up against three of the best attackers in the league, arguably Europe. So and he wasn't really bothered or concerned. He wasn't really. So I think Saliba just shaded it from my man. And the sorry, carry on. I just wanted to kind of flag the third player I want to flag as well. And this might sound really, really weird. It's going to sound very, very harsh. Is Gabriel Jesus. As well as he's playing and as amazing as he was on Saturday, that run was just absolute magic. I want more from him. I think there's more levels in him. I think as well as he's playing, I reckon there's even more from Gabriel Jesus. I really do. I think there's more in his game there that no doubt will come throughout the season. But I might be being a bit harsh on him, but I want more from him because I think there's more in the tank for him to come. But just generally, I thought it was an amazing game. My only gripe My only gripe, then I'll defer to James. My only issue is we didn't batter them, and that might sound greedy. We didn't
I'm
batter
with you
them.
on that.
There's very few occasions in a season where you have a chance to really, really put your foot on the neck of a rival and finish them off. And I think 3-1 looks nice. It should have been 5-1. I just wanted more. There was plenty of time to score 2 more goals. And some would say sign of a good team is controlling the game and seeing it out. Fair enough. That's a fair, valid point. But my only complaint was that we didn't batter them. How many chances do you get to really? If that was City, they batter Spurs. Yeah. If that was Liverpool in their pomp, they batter Spurs. That's my only complaint. But overall, I'm loving what we're doing at the moment. I'm loving it.
Robbie met Rob Holding and Matt Turner at the NFL, actually, funnily enough, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Oh, yeah. So they had a bit of a sort of, enjoyment. I don't know. Well, they clearly we're all very happy about the North London derby win. And Robbie made that exact point to him, apparently. He said, that's my only thing, guys. We should have killed them. And Rob said, yeah, but the game was done. And he said, by the way, both were like 2 of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, which is obviously was nice to hear. But I think that maybe shows a little bit of a level of professionalism about Arsenal, which is how many times do we talk about over-celebrating? Well, no, we don't, but it gets mentioned, over-celebrating wins or whatever. There's something I quite like about the game's done. We've dealt with you. We have nothing to prove here. Let's just keep the ball. Let's recuperate our energy. We've got a big October. So I actually don't really mind that approach from Arsenal because you kind of knew that we were in total control even before the red card.
You know what it is, James? Just sorry to cut you off. When the red card came and then we scored the 3rd goal, and I think the general feeling inside was we're going to batter them. But you are right, I guess. It's better to secure the 3 points and not concede anymore and do it maturely than
and just not don't push yourself for any. You never really know with games. That sounds silly, but you get 1 and it's 4, then they start getting irate, a few more kicks in the game, it gets a little bit messy, it's they're getting humiliated, whatever. I think that's something quite smart about Arsenal, just going, we're just gonna stroll through these next 25 minutes or whatever. And I actually didn't really mind that. A couple other things on Saliba. Actually, I'm hearing a lot of people say it's not too early. This guy's absolutely unbelievable. And that's a testament to how well he's playing, that it's kind of a level beyond it's too early. He's playing so well. Like, we can't even say, well, let's see what he does in sort of 2 months' time, because he's just playing at a level that, yeah, you're right. It's a level beyond anything we've seen from an Arsenal centre-back in a long, long time. And I'm a big Ben White and Gabriel fan. I really like Koscielny as well. Other thing I want to touch on that was mentioned was Tottenham offering, I suppose, a little in the game, but what I liked about the performance and why I think this 3-1 was a better 3-1 win than last year's when we were 3-0 up after 30 minutes or whatever, is that I actually felt Tottenham did look like they could be a threat on the counter-attack. They were getting the pass wrong, but the openings were kind of there. And Arsenal, I think, were maybe left a little surprised as to how open it was at times in that first half. When in 1-1, came out in that second half, and rather than Tottenham being buoyed by the fact that actually we've had some joy, we can go out there and get at them a bit, Arsenal, whatever they did tactically, completely plugged those holes and then went and played brilliantly for the 15 minutes until that red card. And we're in total control at that point anyway. Even at 2-1 up, 12 minutes before the red card, Tottenham had nothing. They couldn't get anywhere near Arsenal. I just think all these things were signs of a really kind of mature, totally controlled performance. And last year, where I felt we beat them on youthful exuberance and the occasion, and 3-0 up after 34 minutes, we blew them away, and then we kind of held on to what we had. I think this was a much more kind of I guess take notice performance, because there were moments where we had to just deal with whatever, and then we came out completely in control. So
who was your man of the match?
Saliba, because I mean, bloody hell, he's dribbling out their box at 1-1 or whatever, the way he is. Or
we're dribbling in our own box, the little nutmeg.
Yeah, and then actually the bit that this felt very Van Dijk to me was and I know a lot of people use that comparison, but this moment in particular when Kane swung it in behind early in the second half, and I'm thinking, Bentancur's just got to play it across, but Saliba's charging at him. I know a lot of people will say, why didn't he just play it first time? Imagine the ball's come to you, and like in the corner of your eye, Saliba's coming, And you kind of think, I just want to get this right. Takes a touch, and by the time he does, Saliba has come across to deal with it. And I just thought, he's just too good.
Sorry, Lee, before you come in, just on Saliba, I've only been to a couple of Arsenal games this season, like live in person, but I've watched all the rest on TV. I've never seen him speak. Do you guys see him talking on the pitch? I can't remember a time on TV where I've actually seen him talking.
He's got quite a serious demeanor, but yeah, I don't know if I've seen him speak.
I've never heard him speak or seen him speak on the pitch. I know that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's what he was doing is working, but he's not like a talker and come in and I know he's French, but he speaks English, but I know that language. But I never ever see him speaking, which I find just kind of bizarre for someone that's so good. That again just leads into the whole idea that he's so confident, he's so composed, he almost doesn't need to communicate because he's just dealing with everything himself. And I just thought I wonder if you guys had seen him, shouting at the fullback or shouting at the person in front of him.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Great point.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. Well, something I have noticed with him is, the group could be celebrating there, but he's so emotional when we score a goal. Like sometimes he just goes to the crowd himself, away from them, and just
love that.
And that gets you so close to being a fan favorite because it's just a pure raw emotion. It's not acting. It's just a
That's why people love Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Because on that Xhaka highlight, when he's running off into the crowd, you see Zinchenko just sitting there like this. And like, that is so good. That's how we're all feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're feeling it with us.
Exactly. Lee, you've been unusually quiet so far.
No, I was just sucking it all in, and it's fantastic, isn't it? Like, listening to us all be happy. Like a few things before like the game, we go and talk to Spurs fans and do it because we have to do that and all that. Like, and they're going on about this player and that. Oh, he should be in the team. I'm Lloris, he's coming out of he's out of it now. Like, gone. I thought Ramsdale, by the way, that's what I want from my goalkeeper. Hardly anything to do. Hardly know he's there, but when he has to, he makes the save, and that is a key for me. That's the Aaron Ramsdale I want. I don't know if somebody's just told him to rein it in a little bit. I hope they have, because that was superb. So I need to get that point out there. This Saliba thing now is starting to goat me a little bit, like, oh, it's too early. It's too early. Well, they're not saying that about Haaland, are they? It's not, no one's turning around and saying it's too early for Haaland. 21 years of age and he's the real deal, by the way. You can tell he's the real deal because you see it by his goals. But I'm seeing the real deal.
To be fair, Haaland's got a few years of goals behind him already.
Yeah, of course.
But I take
that. But I think he's 21, 22. And when I've seen Saliba, I don't care if he's only been at 8 games. He was a big signing. If we look back on it a couple of years ago, all the big teams were after him. We chose Arsenal. Watching him after 8 games, I don't need 8 games. I see it in pre-season. We have got something special. He is something special. I've not seen anybody like this. Confidence. There's not arrogance about him. He just knows that he's a good player, and he's going to go and show it. I think he's fantastic. It's fantastic to watch as a player, as a defender. Like, we all go to watch exciting football and all that. Yeah, of course we do. But when you see something like that, poetry, emotion from defender, I'm going to enjoy it and enjoy watching him defend. I love it. I think he's fantastic. And you make a fantastic point there, Jordan. Gabriel was playing no different to he was last season. Everybody's saying how good he was. Like, he's just highlighted. He's just his little indeficiencies a little bit because he's so bloody good. You know what I mean? That's what it is, and it's fantastic to see. One of the reasons we didn't smash him last. I was disappointed by that, I'm going to say is, but which give them a little bit, or not no credit for. Conte put in 4 defenders straight away, like, and just shut up shop, like 3-1 down on a North London derby. He put on 4 defenders and said, "I'll tell you what, I'll take a 3-1." Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have been happy if that had been the other way around. Even when we lost 3-0 at White Hart Lane, we still tried. You know what I mean? Like, even though we knew the game was over, I love it that the fact is they're harping on a penalty. A sending off after 61 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and failing to forget that we had a player sent off after 24 like last season. Like, but no one mentions that. Of course they don't. You know what I mean? And I love it. You got stuffed and take it on the chin, you horrible lot. But they won't. Like, you know what I mean? So that is a way there. And I think this is a very, very poignant thing. I watched all of it, been, infused by everything that I've seen. It was fantastic. But for me, half time, I've sat back and thought about it. Half time, I win at half time. You know, you're going to the bars and all that, like, you know, and previous years, like, it would have been, we're going to lose this game. Like, you know what I mean? We should be 2-0. We should, you know, blah, blah, blah. When I was in the bar, you know, everybody's turned around and said, we're all right. We're playing really well. We get this. There's a belief now. There's a big belief with the fans. There was no one turning around and going, you know what I mean? Like, we're frightened and all that. Like, and I actually said to one of my mates, turned around and said, like, he did say, we'll win this 3 or 4. And I said, I don't know about that, but I tell you what, we're creating chances. I think we create chances. I'm watching a different team. And about Granit Xhaka, right? And this is the greatest thing about Granit Xhaka, in my opinion now. Like, you know, I thought he was at fault for the goal. He should have cleared it. He tried to be a little bit cute with it and got caught out. Not one person slagged him off in the bar at half time going, that was Granit Xhaka's fault. Like, you know what I mean? Even when it's not been his fault, people have blamed him before. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but there was not one mention of it. I don't think there's been that much mention that he did sort of mess it up. But that is how far he's come now, like, you know, and it was a superb performance on the day. I'm going to be really honest, guys. Friday night, I had a restless night, worried about this game and everything like that. I did feel a lot more confident after we'd done the starting 11, James. I did say that to you. I was happy with our team, and with them going with just 2 in midfield, I fancied us. But we turned up. We turned up and produced, I think, the greatest a good thing for me was, well, they put it on us for 5 minutes in that game. We rode that storm. There's been how many times in games over the last few years we've gone 1-0 up, and then within 5 minutes we're 2-1 down. I remember a few seasons. You remember that game we won 4-2 against Spurs?
Yeah.
We went 1-0 up, and then from a penalty or from a Aubameyang, and then half time we're 2-1 down with two quick goals in 2 minutes. We've stemmed that flood, and that allowed us then to push on in the second half and produce a fantastic performance. And you know what? If you ever look for the man of the match, I think you can go Saliba, Ben White, Partey. I thought was outstanding in the game. Xhaka and Jesus. Martinelli was sensational in the second half, absolutely unbelievable in the second half. And if you, this is the great thing about it. I think we could all, you know, who's the man of the match, and we're all giving different opinions who's man of the match. And you know what? No one's wrong. There was so many good performances out there, and it's very, very difficult to say who's man of the match, because you guys have just gone for Saliba, like, and I thought, I ain't going to argue that. And for me, it was Granit Xhaka or Partey. Just gets it because of the goals that they got. But you could go with Martinelli, Gabriel, and I'll tell you who else played really, really well on Saturday. And I don't say he's getting a lot of criticism, but people don't think that he's been that good or whatever. And a certain Spurs forward will get in front of him and all that. Saka was immense on Saturday. If you go back and have a look at his play, you know, he's the one that creates the first goal by taking 2 players away, that allows Ben White to just put it across the Partey. If it wasn't for him, 2 players wouldn't go for him. That's how good he is, because 2 players go with him when we move it a lot.
Yeah.
Creates the second goal by coming in there. He was just a constant thorn in their side. I thought he was sensational on the day. And I think he's gone under the radar a little bit on that performance. So I actually watched it. I think on my 5th occasion I was watching it, like, you know, and I actually picked up how good a performance it was from Saka. So let's not sleep on the man, or the boy, should I say, because he was sensational on the day as well.
Turkish Leach mentioned it there. I have no idea why Spurs continuously come to the Emirates and play 2 in midfield. I don't know why they do it. They've done it for the last 4, 5, 6 years at the Emirates. They come with 2 in midfield, and we always batter them. We always outdo them in midfield. I don't understand why. It's really weird to me. Under Poch, under Nuno, under Jose, and now under Conte, they don't learn the lesson of putting 3 in midfield. Thomas Partey, again, Leach mentioned there, absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. But maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. He didn't have much to do. There was no top of the midfield. They were so deep. They were so deep.
They were so deep.
They made his job easy. Do you know what I mean? He was brilliant, but there was no midfield there. So I just Spurs need to learn that lesson. And just going back to he who I won't name, it was a nice kind of it was a nice poetry for him to score the goal that secured the points. I just thought it was really nice. And I think it was James mentioned that his box is in that corner because he always seems to do well in second halves. He seems to always point to when he scores to that point of the ground. I've noticed that it's been 3 or 4 times where he seems to go that way, and
that's where Lee sits, Jordan. So
is that when? Oh, okay.
No. He used to
in this box.
He used to sit next to me. His family used to sit next to me, but now they've when he signed his new contract, he
said, "Get me away from that Lee judges."
He
said, "Get me away from that Lee."
I blame him.
I sign, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, they moved to a box which is just above the corner flag there, like is his box. Like,
okay.
So and that's why that's why I feel that Saka has signed a new contract because he's not sat next to me before now, like, you know what I mean? So I'm very confident that that's why I think they're in a box as well, like. But yeah, that was what. Like, I got to say that when that goal, I don't think I've experienced a noise and atmosphere like that when that goal went in. It was, I don't know if you on the TV it come across. When that goal went in, the whole place exploded. Yeah. And there was a minute in that game, I have to mention this. There was a minute in that game. A lot of people have criticised the Spurs fans for being the worst away fans. That was not the case. It was the whole of the crowd that was just so loud on the game. But there was a moment when they singing, by far the greatest team, Arsenal, by far the greatest team. I've never experienced it. The whole of the clock end, the whole of the North Bank, the East, West, the club level, boxes, everybody was singing it apart from the Spurs section. Like, it was mind-blowing. It was incredible.
You could hear it. You could hear it on the TV. You could definitely came across.
Unbelievable. Like I've never experienced what I'm experiencing at the Emirates. I don't think I've experienced it back in the day when you was standing at Highbury, you'd get the clock end and the North Bank going like fantastically well. But realistically, I'll be honest, the East and West stands weren't that noisy. You know what I mean? Because the East lower was probably would join in, but sometimes I've been in the West stand, you know what I mean, and they don't sing. But the whole of this stadium was like on a different level, different planet. Big up the fans, and it was a 12:30 kickoff, and you felt it from the word go, like, you know what I mean? I'm buzzing to get back there on Thursday. I can't wait, you know what I mean? It's a Europa League game, that's how fantastic the atmosphere is at the Emirates. And it always used to be fantastic go away from home atmosphere, not so great the Emirates, but now I can't split it and actually say the atmosphere at the Emirates is better than the away games at Man, and that's saying something. That is saying something.
It feels like finally it's been a long time. We're all headed in the right direction all together. The club, the players, the fans, the manager's done so well to get us all on the right track.
What was you going to say? Yeah, just one more thing. Just want to say about it was great you brought out the togetherness of the fans and the players. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been on Twitter and all that. But as the players come out, they go alongside where the Tollington is, sometimes the players get caught in the lights. Zinchenko got caught in the lights, and obviously the fans see him. They started singing the song in the pub and all that. And Zinchenko's wife got through the sunroof and started singing the song with the Arsenal fans. And when have you ever seen that? You know what I mean? Like, from that. Normally they're trying to get their heads down and all that. They're engaging with the fans as well, you know what I mean? Like, and that is why we're loving them. And if they were to have a poor performance, like, I'm not saying a poor performance, but your defeat against Man United, you're more forgivable, guys. I think, like, you know what I mean? I was more forgivable about that because there's something about these players, you know what I mean, that you wanna love, you want to get around, and that, for his wife to be doing that, I just shows you what sort of. Like, this is a guy that's come from serial winners, Manchester City, and his wife is coming through a sunbed A sunbed. It's probably went to sunbed before, but like, you know what I mean? Opening the sunroof and doing that. It's unbelievable, guy. Come on, you know, fantastic.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago when Guendouzi did something similar after a North London derby, and we all loved it. But the difference now is they're also performing. So, like you said, when a slip up happens, because slip ups are going to happen. We're not going to win the league this season. Slip ups are going to happen as part of some of the players' development. We talked about Saliba, and we've talked about how on top of the world he must feel and how good he's been. He's going to have slip ups too. He's very young. But something that Arteta's done that he needs to be given massive credit for, something that he kind of came in with into his managerial role, bringing everyone together again. He talked about the disconnect, and that's so far gone now. That's so far gone, and I think and Xhaka kind of epitomizes that. I think that him coming full circle and getting his chant, and him mentioning how he talked to Zinchenko about you have a chant after 3 days and so on, and now I finally have one. It kind of caps off the togetherness and where we've come from when Arteta came in to where we are at the moment. There's still a lot of work to do. You know, I know opposition fans see maybe us talking like this or us celebrating, over celebrating and whatnot. We're not getting ahead of ourselves. We know we're not going to win I know we're not going to win the league. I don't feel we're going to win the league. I really hope we do, but I think we're a couple years off that. But we can see something now. There's something to get behind. There's players we like. There's players we want the best for. There's players we pick up. Gabriel and Xhaka made, between them, I'd say 70% Xhaka, 30% Gabriel at fault for that penalty, that goal. But who really cares? Because, similar to Gabriel's mistake earlier in the season, he comes back and gets the winner against Fulham. Now, something I will say is they need to be erased moving forward, because I think that, along with world-class additions when we make Champions League, will really kick us onto a next level. But I think at this moment in time, it's expected in a sense. You know, they're expected to make mistakes here and there, as long as we can keep on grinding it out, and not necessarily grinding it out, because we're not playing like a Tottenham. You know, we're actually playing good football. Even in the loss against United, it was good football. So overall, I think, happy days.
Do you know one last thing? The club's got to take a lot of credit for it as well. Somebody at the club, because after that game finished on Saturday, I don't know if you noticed it or see it like that, but they played the songs that the players have been, like they played the Zinchenko, they played the Saliba one, they played the Granit Xhaka one. So they're noticing these things, and I didn't think they would notice this for years. You know what I mean? Like there's been a conscious effort all round from top to bottom on that, and I thought that was a fantastic thing to do. You know what I mean? Like like they played a Smith Rowe song. They didn't play it like the last one, but they might have done towards the end. I don't know. Like, but they all the songs that the players are relating to, they are being put on the speakers straight away. Like, and so that's never happened before, guys. It hasn't, So who's ever made that decision and all that, like, fair play to them. Well, there's some real very, very poignant decisions being made by the club, which is benefiting the whole thing at the moment. So big up to whoever's ever made those decisions. Fantastic. Long may it continue.
A big one of those decisions that they're getting right for me, and this sits with Arteta and Edu, and it's understanding the profile of players that Arsenal have been needing over the last few years. While there's been the odd Willian and Runnison, I think largely, Runnison, I think largely they've got their recruitment, maybe not spot on, but they've been bringing in the right players. And for how many years between 2000 and, I don't know, take your pick, 2009 maybe through to 2018, 19, actually 2020. How long? For how many years were we saying, we need a proper holding midfielder? We need two actually imposing centre backs. I'm actually not going to name names of players that weren't these things, but the criticisms would be, that player reads the game well, but he's too slow, or that player is good in the tackle, but he's not good in possession, and this striker, we need someone with more mobility, or we need proper wingers that actually run at players. And there are just so many, like, and they would never all be at the same time. We'd sort of address one or two, and then there'd be other two issues, whatever. What I like about this 11 when they go out there is it just feels quite, don't want to say complete because they lack experience and years together doing it and that know-how of how to compete for titles and all that. That's ultimately where we want them to get. But in terms of raw potential, when I look at Gabriel and Saliba, I can't really think of much more you'd want, again, in terms of potential from two young centre-backs. We forget Gabriel himself is only about 24, I think. Both very strong, both 6'3", 6'4". Both, Saliba very good on the ball. Gabriel, I think, good on the ball. One right-footed, one left-footed. Ben White can tuck in, can overlap. Saka can go inside, outside, good with both feet. Jesus, he can do everything as a striker. Even if he's not 6'3", he's brilliant in the air as well. There's just so much to kind of like about the balance of this team as well. And from a kind of tactical perspective, I'm just kind of loving that. I've got faith in this team to do things in a lot of different ways. That Partey goal from distance is really important. You need to be able to score from distance as well.
Mm-hmm.
When teams, they camp in their penalty box, you've got to be able to put it in from 25 yards. And I think that's what's giving.
Hopefully, it doesn't take him another 200 shots. But yeah, we'll take it if it's against Tottenham.
Exactly. But if you kind of look at our last 6 goals from Brentford through to Tottenham, you've got a goal from a set piece in Saliba's. You got that lovely, chip cross to the back post from what did I say on that watch along? What did I call it? The something, the floating chip or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember. No, it wasn't this game. But
it was the Brentford one. Yeah. What a load of shit I was talking there. Anyway, but it's a great ball to. Yeah, what was that?
It's not the first time.
Not the first time. Well, I do weekly on this podcast. But the cross to Jesus. And then you got, Partey from distance, Vieira from distance, Saka just putting it into an area. The keeper kind of gets it wrong and Jesus tucks it away. Then you got the really well worked one where we just kind of carve through Tottenham and Xhaka puts it away. There's a real kind of variety to our player and our goals, and that's really important because I felt one of Arsenal's criticisms when we did get things right last season was, is it a little bit predictable though? Do you kind of know we kind of had to score the perfect goal like the one against Southampton sometimes to put it in the back of the net, and we're adding different elements to our game, which I'm really liking, and that comes with the new players as well.
I think at this point I'm going to bring in the prediction table because we are going to move on. Jordan did say we're going to talk about Liverpool in a minute. I think you're forgetting Bodø Glimt, Europa League, Jordan, Thursday.
Big game. That's a big game. Yeah. Great team. Yeah.
Here's the prediction table.
Good test.
There we go. Someone predicted a draw, so they
Who predicted a draw?
Oh, the table will tell you, mate.
Guilty.
Hold on.
Oh, you're going to bring the shades on.
Oh, let's not name him. We shall not name.
We'll just put his name up on screen at the bottom of the table.
Dear. I got that badly wrong. Wrong.
It is what it is. It is what it is. There you have it, people. James and Lee at the top, 10 points. Only their first letter of their name separating them. I'm in third, 7 points, and Jordan is in fourth, 6 points so far. And we've got Bodø Glimt coming up next.
Did you go 2-1, James?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Gutted when Xhaka scored.
That's just better ask. How did you react when Xhaka scored?
No. You see me I was on the watch along. You see me in the background, just head in hands. Oh, this guy again. Obviously not for anyone who is thick enough to believe that was how I reacted.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean,
you went 2-1. Lee went 3-2. I went 4-2. So we was all close in our own way. I think you and Lee was the closest, obviously, 1 goal off.
But doesn't that show that we were all kind of confident and we'd have been happy with our scores, and Arsenal went and delivered something even a bit more emphatic? Listen, well done to them.
Are we previewing the Liverpool game as well? We're doing it.
We'll do Friday morning. We'll do another pod.
Okay.
8 a.m. You know you like those 8 a.m. ones. So no, I'm joking. Don't rub your hands yet. We haven't arranged it. You're waking me up at Friday 8 a.m. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll be calling you, mate. I thought we said. Yeah.
I'll have an early start.
This Bodø Glimt game, look. I'm gonna. This is gonna sound a bit weird and a bit stupid. If there's one. Well, there's a couple of things I like about the Europa League. I'd never, ever, ever take it over the Champions League. But there are a couple of things I like about that competition. I think one of them is that I'm not going into a Tuesday, Wednesday night game against Real Madrid really stressed and not having the time to enjoy this win. And I'm not saying that Bodø Glimt doesn't matter. Of course it matters. And by the way, they've had a few good results. I think they've beaten Roma a couple of times last season, I think.
Yeah.
So they're not too messy. Did they win their opening game or they drew? I think they drew.
They got a point away to PSV, which is a good draw, and then they beat Zurich at home 2-1.
Yeah, clearly they got something about them. There's no question. I'll be doing my research after this on the train and doing a preview of Robbie, so look out for that on the channel. But I think,
and box to box as well. I found a Bodø Glimt fan, so
wow, amazing.
He looks so happy about that.
Where did you find him? Where did you find him? What, living over here?
No, he's a season ticket holder over there. Soft spot for Arsenal as well. He's got a couple, he's got a Righty shirt, a Saka shirt. Big up Michael. That came out earlier, people say. If you haven't seen it, go over there. But yeah,
I'm definitely going to watch that because I'm very interested to see, for his insight and stuff and see what he's making of it. But I think that was for whatever, even though there was a red card after, with half an hour to go and we were 3-1 up and ever, that would still have been a very intense, taxing 90 minutes for the team. Probably why they took their foot off the gas. And I think the opportunity you got to win because nothing's guaranteed, but there'll be opportunities to rotate certain players and opportunities for other rotated players to prove a point. And I think that is where, especially in this first half, see, we're so congested before the World Cup, where we maybe slightly benefit. I saw Spurs' game last night against Frankfurt. People said it was an improved performance. I mean, I guess it was improved. But again, I just felt that was just another very intense 90 minutes. And listen, you'd rather be playing those games, don't get me wrong. But I'm just talking from for a fixture schedule perspective, Arsenal can, if they're smart, weather this nicely. So we'll kind of see how Arteta goes about that. I actually think, I don't think he'll make 10 changes. I think he'll make 6 or 7. And I think he'll try and get this secured as early as possible, if that makes sense. We've got 1 win, kind of get 2, maybe 3 more, and you think you're probably all right. So we'll
before
see.
you even play I think it's Bodø Glimt this week, next week, and then is it PSV? When has the PSV game? That must be the week.
Yeah, we're home at PSV then, and then PSV away the following week.
And Zurich at home. Okay.
Yeah. So really and truly, with Bodø Glimt top of the group right now, 4 points. We've got 3 points. A couple wins will pretty much secure our passage into the next round. Something that is essential, I think, this season is if you finish top of the group, you go straight through. You miss a couple fixtures against the Champions League sides coming up, and we don't need that, especially after the World Cup, and hoping that our players come back fit and ready. Jordan, you said it's a big game. What did you mean by that?
No, I was joking. I was just taking the piss. I was taking the piss. Sorry.
I thought you wanted to see some players in particular.
No.
I'm looking forward to it.
So I like, you know what? Look, Vieira last time out, Marquinhos last time out. Those two in particular, I'm really looking forward to.
Sorry. I thought you meant. Did I mean big game in terms of looking forward to seeing Bodø Glimt? From our point of view, I think it's just James said. I'll repeat his point really. That I just think for certain players, this is their chance to really be on the periphery and knock on the door and say, look, the first team's playing really well. We didn't mention that much, but Ben White. Ben White is really winning me round at right back. But Tomiyasu's my guy. These are the games where Tomiyasu has to prove, whether it's at centre back or at right back, that boss, whenever you're ready to put me back in, if I'm good to go. He needs to make sure that he's man of the match in this particular game, so that if and when Ben White does get rested, does get injured, there's no issue of just Tomiyasu goes back in easy because he's been on form in the Europa League and the Cup game. So certain players now, these are the games where they need to win them ASAP, just get them wrapped up ASAP. But for certain players, it's about, okay, I need to impress because I'm not getting the first team because the first team's playing so well. But I need to make sure that when subs need to be made, injuries happen, there's no issue of the boss thinking, okay, I'll just put you in because I've been playing well in the Europa League. So it's very much a look at me, boss. Look what I'm still here sort of game for me.
Shop window, or not shop window, but in Arteta's sense, give him something to think about. This weekend against Liverpool. Lee, who are you looking forward to seeing? You said you're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward. Tomiyasu. I think I'm looking forward to seeing him there. Who plays central defence alongside Rob Holding? I think Rob Holding are definitely playing this game.
Yeah.
Who does the manager go with? Does he go with Gabriel or does he go with Saliba? That'd be interesting.
Or does he go with Ben White?
Could go with Ben White in there as a central defender. Yeah, so I think that's very, very interesting what he does do there. Obviously, I think Turner are playing goal, so he needs to up his game because he had a bit of a dodgy one, if I'll be honest, against
Zurich.
who did we play? Zurich, like it was his last outing, So, I know Robbie said he's a nice guy and all that, but he needs to be performing a lot better than what he did in that game, So hopefully we'll be there.
Fine. What did he do wrong against Zurich?
Listen, you don't get the name Anthea unless you've had a good game.
Don't start me again, Lee.
Right, okay, let's get it right. He wasn't great in that game, James. But
he did nothing wrong. What was wrong? What did he do?
Well, I think you need to go back to the game, and next time where you
do you know what? I'll do that. Let me go rewatch that.
Yeah, well, you're just being argumentative with me, there's no need, totally unnecessary. Listen, he's got to improve it. Listen, this is his chance to come in at home at the Emirates and produce and play a good performance. Well, I think that they will cause us a few problems because I think we will make changes. I think this is a great thing for us. I did watch a little bit of Spurs game. By the way, that was so boring. I actually, in the end, turned over and watched Liverpool Rangers game because I was interested to see what that was going. That was an intense game. Rangers had chances in that game, so it wasn't like they've had a nice, easy game. So, like Vieira will come in the midfield and that. And I think, Eddie, Marquinhos, I'm really looking forward to seeing him. After that performance in Zurich, I was pumped with his performance. It was really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him, going there, And I think James makes a good point there. Is you can watch this game and enjoy it without the pressure. I know this sounds a little bit silly, we should get through whether when there's a blip or not. But I think it play all up 7 or 8, 9 changes. I think. But I like to see all the big guns on the bench just in case things don't go well. And and the other thing is if we can win this one, then beat them over there. 9 points is virtually with 3 games still to play. We only really need a point, another win, and then we're through. So in a very, very difficult month of fixtures, I think that Arsenal can negotiate this really, really well. So I think it's a game. And it must be frustrating for people like Tomiyasu. And I'm not saying in a bad way, the team's playing really, really well. So you wouldn't be getting the opportunities, So there's an opportunity to get 90 minutes under your belt here and play well. And just ring the bell and say, I'm still here. And I think that's important. And for Eddie, I think Eddie's done really well coming on the bench the last few games. Whenever he's come on, he's done well. So he needs, and get a couple of goals for him would be really nice, just to keep his confidence going as well. Because
what's our midfield situation like? Because I was just thinking about Partey. Well, last time against Zurich when we played Xhaka, I thought that was the wrong thing to do because
one of them's going to have to play Turkish.
Yeah, and they actually both go to the World Cup as well. I'm thinking off the top of Switzerland and Ghana both in the World Cup. So somewhere along the line.
Xhaka will play. He's a machine.
I think it'd be Lokonga, Xhaka, and Vieira in that midfield.
I just want to say, I mean no disrespect to Bodø Glimt when I say, or everyone else in our group when I say, we can sit on the Spurs win a bit longer and we can just enjoy it or whatever. It's not going to be an exhibition match. They've got 4 points on the board and as we mentioned, they beat Rome a couple of times last year. What I more mean is my focus is so on the league and how well we're doing there, more so than the Europa League. If you ask me to prioritize one right now, I prioritize the league. I don't really believe this. It's easier to go through the back door, the Europa, because you can lose any final. And actually, in the league, I think we're doing well, and I think we can get top 4. And I said that from day one. But what it is it's more... Let's say things go really wrong. Let's say Thursday night's a complete disaster. Bodø Glimt beat us. That, for me, isn't going to completely dismantle my faith in the team that's going to go out against Liverpool on Sunday. You start asking questions about the depth and the players coming in and, that was a bit of a wobble. We didn't need that and all those things. But, I'll be able to compartmentalize it and put it aside because of how well we're playing in the league. So that's kind of more what I mean in terms of being able to. It's more about the state of the team, if that makes sense. I'm not.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but this is what these games are important now, James. You know what I mean? Is that the squad players coming in? You know what I mean? There is an argument that Tommy Ayew should be in the side. There's an argument that Tierney plays over Zinchenko. I think that we had that conversation on Saturday. Who do you play? I think that conversation comes up again on Sunday between Tierney and Zinchenko with their wide players. You know, number one.
You've just got me thinking.
So who do you play in this game? Like, you know what I mean? This is, you know, so there's some real, but these players have got to, you know, if it is Tierney that plays, he's got to come in and play really, really well. And so I think it's important. For a lot of reasons, these games. Obviously, we want to get through the group stages, and of course we do. You know, because I think we should attack this in the second half of the season because it's Europa League and a trophy, Champions League and a trophy. So I'm all for that. But I also think that these players, you know, like Vieira, and you know, he done nothing wrong against Brentford. By the way, I thought he done a really good debut, but was left out, you know, because of Udegaard. Again, he's got to come in and produce so that, you know, that he's ready for those Premier League games. So I'm buzzing for Thursday. I'm looking forward.
Maybe this is where I pull one back against Robbie, make it 8-1 in this Zinchenko midfield or left back debate because I'm getting absolutely battered in that.
What's a great point. He could actually go with it.
Why would you not? Actually, if you think about it, he's not played as much football because of the injuries. I don't think he played on it. I don't think he went on international duty. Xhaka and Tierney did. Why not rest Xhaka? Because Tierney's playing well at left back. So if something were to if Zinchenko to pick up a knock in the game or whatever, or not be quite as fit for Liverpool, you're kind of okay in that position. He took him off early as well. Why not have Zinchenko, Lokonga, Vieira?
I'm going for it. I'm having it.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I think if it doesn't happen, then say goodbye and pay Robbie straight away, James.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, I'll just pay up.
Because you're right. It makes sense.
You was in that frozen room in America. Just let it go, son. Just let it go. Like,
you know? He offered me a cash out. So the bet's £100 at the end of the season. By the way, he offered me a cash out like week 3 for £80. I said, you're mad.
Week 3, £80. Listen, Robbie's gonna owe me some money at the end of the season anyway. But we'll talk about that. Let's go into some predictions now, and let me bring up the table again just to let people know who's going first and last. James, being the leader at the top of the table by alphabetical order. Where you going?
I'm glad he's going first on this one. I've got no idea.
3-1.
3-1.
What?
Let me note that down. Lee? Yeah, Sai, was that what you was going to go for?
Yeah, I was going to go that, because I don't really know too much about these and what they're going to be about, you know what I mean? So, let's go. Let's go for it then. 4-0. Go on.
Oof, 4-0. I think there'll be goals in it for sure. Then again, 1-1 against PSV away. They must have. Let's go for it.
I know what you mean. I think we might get I think we might get an awkward one.
Let me go for 4-2. 4-2.
James and his mind games.
4-1.
I see what you're doing there, James.
4-1.
I see what you did there.
4-1.
Sterling work, my friend. Sterling work. I'm not gonna. I know nothing about them, so I can't pretend like I know how it's gonna go. I'll go for a 2-0 Arsenal.
Jordan, you don't respect this pod. You haven't done your research before coming on.
I know. Sorry. If
this was TalkSport, you'd be fucking everything.
Not really.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah, tune into Jordan in an hour where he's like, the thing about Bodø Glimt.
You know exactly where they are, what temperature is it at the airport, everything you know what I mean?
Their sub right back is amazing. Honestly, off the bench, if he comes on, we're absolutely done. We're toast. Their bench is so strong. Yeah.
They actually play with the classic 1980s Italian sweeper. You wouldn't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the colour of their kit when he's shorts and all that. Yeah, I mean, Unreal.
When they were founded, all of that. But
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
people, 55 minutes in, we're going to wrap it up here. Listen, we're becoming used to all of these good, positive, Forever Arsenal podcasts because over seasons gone by, there's been a bit
I'm
of
so
stress
sorry,
here and there.
Turkish. I know you're trying to outro, but I just envisaged Jordan on Bodø Glimt fan TV giving his thoughts after the game. Sorry.
That's what I spoke. Actually, the Michael who I spoke to has a fan channel called Glimt Fan TV. So Jordan,
you go.
Wow,
if you need a heads up, there you go, my guy.
There you go.
There you
I'm
go.
actually going to the game on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of our players that I've not seen up close yet, and seeing obviously Bodø Glimt. I'm really keen to see if they can live up to my expectations. We'll see.
Do you need a map?
I'm there all the time, Lee. I just don't come and see you.
Yeah.
No one does. He's in corporate VIP, whatever he is.
Yeah.
I bet Jordan's in your way, and I go, there he is. Look, he's in your way. There he is.
Yeah.
All right, people, let's wrap it up here. All predictions are in. James has gone 3-1. Judge has gone 4-0. I've gone 4-1. And Jordan's gone 2-0. Bodø Glimt, 8 p.m. Thursday, tomorrow night. And then we move on to Liverpool. We will be back after the Bodø Glimt game, before the Liverpool game, because it's another big one. So make sure you guys tune in then. But before that, hit the like button here. Give us your thoughts, predictions, lineups. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see rested? Is James's Zinchenko idea a good one, considering we have depth in that position, and with Xhaka and Partey, we have very little depth? Let us know, people. Let us know. Hit the like button and look out for all of the content. And like I said, box to box earlier today with Michael. It was a good one, a good conversation. Show some love over there too, people. We are out. Peace.